and others for some checks. And what we are looking at now is: are you anxious? Are you concerned? Are you excited? Are you worried, or are you inquisitive as regards what would be the composition of this list that has been dubbed, the cabinet of political unity? Well, I mean, as you know, media people, as journalists, we are inquisitive because a lot of people would agree that the composition of the ministerial list would tell or can predict, the way the administration would go. Because if we have, a list that comprises mostly of politicians and less of technocrats, or we have a list that comprises more of technocrats, it gives an idea of how the administration is going to run the ship that is called Nigeria. All right, so are you inquisitive? Like, who are these people? Is Wike going to be part of it as alleged? Are we going to be having, some PDP members in an APC-led administration? Are you inquisitive, or are you worried that let's not have another composition of another Adamu, that's saying that he has no idea of the portfolio that was given? Or are you excited that for a president that said he's going to hit the ground running, he has actually hit the ground running? Policies have been coming in every week. Are you excited as regards the ministers that are coming in? Are they also going to support this energy that the president has brought forward? Or are you anxious that is it coming, is it not coming? He has less than 18 days. What exactly is happening? So what state are you as regards the much anticipated ministerial list? And how hopeful are you of the president coming up with something totally different from the past? A lot of people will say that till date, the composition of the Obasanjo-led administration, the composition of his ministerial list, that boasted of, quite a lot of technocrats who were able to actually get some certain things done as regards their ministries. Some will say, so far has been quite, the most impressive. Let me not say the best, has been the most impressive. So how hopeful are you of President Tinubu coming up with something totally different from the past? All right, putting round pegs in round holes. What do you think about the speculated tag of a ministerial list of political unity, where we have a ministerial list that would have opposition parties being involved? It has happened before, in the Obasanjo-led administration. It has happened before, where we had the late Chief Bola Ige be of the opposition
AC,
party, yes, of the opposition party AC, then being in a PDP-led administration as the AGF / Minister of Justice. All right, so it happened then. That's the only time we've had it. But then, what do you think of another situation where now it's not just one person? There are speculations that we may have two people from the opposition, two or three, yes, three people so far of the opposition in an APC-led administration. So what are your thoughts? Those are the angles that we're coming in from. I give you forward about 2 minutes, share your thoughts, then we open up the phone line. Don't forget that we are live on Facebook and YouTube, so you can share your thoughts on our live chat section on Facebook and YouTube. Forward. Let's start with Abacha's
loot.
Let's start with Abacha's loot. Are you interested? Do you want to know?
Well, again, it's important that any call for transparency, for accountability, has to be supported by all Nigerians. I like the fact that SERAP is digging into things like this. That's supposed to be their own contribution to our democracy. I must say that SERAP is one of the most active civil society organizations out there, of course, digging into things that sometimes some of us don't even pay attention to. $5 billion is huge money. Yeah. Sandra, if you agree with me, a lot of money.
Dollars, not naira.
And these monies were looted. These were monies belonging to Nigeria. Nigerians looted by Abacha, returned to Nigeria for us to make a better use of those money. So if there's a way to really probe how the money was spent, I think we have to support what SERAP is doing now. And there's a federal high court judgment on this now. These monies has to be investigated from past administration, from the Obasanjo era to the late Yar'Adua, Goodluck Jonathan, and even Buhari government. So, which is a fantastic one that we have to all support. But the big question is this: who is going to bail the cat, like I asked earlier?
Will the president be willing to do
Would
that?
the president be willing to do that? Because the court can give his own judgment. The court will not carry out the investigation. Executive apparatus will have to be the one to run with the investigation and even prosecute if they find anybody wanting. So who is going to have the willpower to do that? Would the president, for example, be willing to investigate former presidents and then prosecute them if he finds any of them?
Because he'll be a former president someday.
You know, so well, the fact that you're a former president does not mean, or will be a former president does not mean you cannot check the books of what past administration have done. But we've not seen that situation in this country. None of the presidents have been able to probe a former administration. What probably Buhari majorly did was to go after ministers. You know, there was never any time where Goodluck Jonathan was investigated. Really, there were calls for him to be investigated and all of that. But what we saw was Buhari just running after some of his ministers. So again, I don't see a situation where that will happen. I know Serap will continue to push, but it is what it is. I really don't see this coming to anything really.
Right.
And then on the issue of the ministers, as a journalist, Sandra, I'm inquisitive. I'm not excited. I'm not anxious. I'm not worried. I'm just inquisitive to know what is going to come up from that list. I know Nigerians have to be worried because, again, we're in an era where everybody's desperate for something to change. You know, it's almost like we're hoping for a miracle. We know we're in a quagmire. We're
just
in the
something
doldrums.
to hold on to.
Just something to, you know, something to give us some glimmer of hope.
Yeah.
I understand if Nigerians are worried at what exactly is going to come up. Because, again, whether we like to, these ministers are going to drive the economy. They're going to be setting agenda, spending money. In fact, ministers, if you don't know, are the ones to actually run with the budget of the ministry. The budget of the ministry goes back to them. They are the ones to dispense and manage these funds. You know, so they are also very important to our survival as a nation, to the democratic experiment. So I understand if Nigerians are worried or anxious. Sorry, political guys, the politicians, those ones lobbying, are worried because everybody's now.
What will I get?
So those are the guys that are worried. Nigerians are anxious. Okay. I'm inquisitive, but again. I'm sure this list we're going to get a list, but I must tell you, I maintain my prediction. The list is going to be more of thoroughbred politicians, career politicians, and the government would argue that, look, the fact that they are politicians does not mean they are not technocrats. They are graduates. They are people who have run businesses, who have also aired, you know, managers of business and all of that. So we're going to see a situation where politicians will be sold to us as technocrats. Yeah, I
am a graduate.
Yes,
but would I function as a minister of agriculture?
No. Again, well, that would be the issue again, whether we're going to see round pegs and round holes. Again, that would be a tough. Okay, for example, if a Wike, for example, is nominated as a minister, what portfolio should be given to him? He was a former governor and he's a lawyer. So would you give him the AGF, for example? No, I was just saying, if you say, okay, because he's a lawyer, he has to. So the argument would be that, look, as a lawyer, it doesn't mean you cannot manage any other ministry apart from anything that's related to law.
All right, fine.
You know, so if we are going to get those arguments, but
thank you.
Again, we'll just wait to see what happens.
It's all right. 0913-6000-410. 0913-6000-410. That is the number to call. For text messages and WhatsApp messages, it's 0913-6000-430. That is the number to send your text message and WhatsApp message to. 0913-6000-430. That is the number for text messages and WhatsApp messages. Okay, and you can also drop your contributions on Facebook as well. We are live on Facebook, so you can drop your contributions there. We also take them live on air at Mainland 98.3 FM. Just drop it in the comment section. We'll take it live here. We have access to it directly. So let's have a conversation. Now, you have just 2 minutes. For those who are calling in, please, you have just 2 minutes, straight to the point, and let's keep things clean. Thank you. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Sandra.
Yes.
Yeah. It's a good ground that you guys have been doing. I've been a listener for a long time now, but due to the nature of my job, I'm always on the road. But now I'm at home. So what I'm calling in is
your name and where you're calling.
My name. Sorry. My name is Onome. I'm calling from Redemption Camp.
Okay.
State.
All right.
Yeah. So last week, about a week ago, thereabouts, and I saw a Bakari case, being dissolved after the court. I just laughed. I was telling people, see, there are some things that I know. What is it called? The other analyst there, sorry, his going to
Abba
speak my
Kyari's
mind.
Kyari's case
Fuad, yeah.
was not dissolved out of court. It was granted
Bail.
and the bail was based on another,
Sandra,
situation.
you and I know nothing will come out of it. You know.
Okay.
Because of we already don't let me say anything.
Okay, but that's not even on the focus this morning, though.
Yeah, I know. The ministerial lead,
Right.
just like was
The name is Fuad.
Fuad.
Sorry, skip my mind. I know, but
Okay.
Fuad. Next one, you hit the nail on the head. Yeah, at least you know what the list of the ministers are going to look like. Don't let us discuss ourselves. This is Nigeria. But the thing is, I had a low confidence in the next 80 years if Nigeria is going to start to be in the right direction.
All right.
No present government has questioned the past regime. That is where Nigeria needs to start from. If we don't do that, there is nothing positive that can make this country go forward. Good morning.
All right. Thank you very much, Onobe. I appreciate. 0913600410. Hello. Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Yes. Good morning.
Yeah, thank you. God bless you. I'm Mr. Fawad. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, thank you very much. You see, either my advice
Your name,
for
sir.
Your name and where you're calling from. Please.
Okay, thank you very much. My name is Peter. I am calling from Idimu.
Okay.
Yes, either technocrats or not technocrats, what Nigeria needs from Atiwaju today is good Nigerian people with good characters, people that will work for him to make sure that he succeeds and Nigeria also succeeds. Not a technocrat or a technocrat. People like Nelson Wike of Rivers State. I've been to Rivers State. I saw what Nelson Wike told Rivers State to. Rivers State is good to look than when I visited Rivers State in 2004. I went to Rivers State 2015, 2016. I mean, I hardly recognize that this is Rivers State. And also people like Ganduje, he worked in Kano State. It's only verified that I didn't see his work in Kaduna State. He should make sure that either technocrats or not technocrats, good Nigerians is what Nigerians are looking for. People with good character, not either technocrat or either technocrat. Immediately you become an appointee of a president. Automatically you become a politician. Look at Emefiele. To the extent that even pigs want to run for the office of the president. Thank you very much and God bless you.
And you too. Thank you very much. I appreciate. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, Sandra.
Good morning.
Good morning, Fuad.
Good morning.
My name is Sam. I'm calling from Lagos Island.
Okay.
Okay, I just want to clarify something on the issue of Syrup.
Okay.
Right? Syrup, they have not requested for investigation. Syrup had only requested to the court accountability. And there is difference between accountability and investigation. Investigation comes after they are able to account properly. So we shouldn't mix things up at this point. The court has granted the request.
Sorry. How do you guarantee accountability if you don't investigate how monies were spent?
No, investigation comes after when they are unable to
you can only be accountable if you investigate, and that's what the court is saying. We should check how these monies were spent. We are not mixing anything up here.
Yeah, that's what probing is.
Yes.
No. The court said it's not about probing. No.
It's about what?
The court said the previous government should come forward to account.
Hold on. The court also ordered the President Tinubu-led administration to probe the amount that was stolen, to probe the agreements of the past administrations on these funds that were recovered and how much has been recovered.
And that's investigation that we are talking about.
That is investigation.
Is that not?
My point is, this is a usage of language. But the truth is, there's need for us. There's need for us to really know what those money are used for.
That's investigation.
Where they are gone.
All right, thank you.
I quite agree with investigation,
okay.
Right? Whatever it is, because this is our money. These are money that the greatest ancestor has given to us, and they still give it to us.
Yeah.
So we need to know what we need to do.
All right, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. God bless you. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. We appreciate it. All right. Probe, investigate, semantics.
Just check the books.
It's all right. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Sandra. Sorry for the radio noise.
Okay, thank you.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, well, Sarah, we thank God for their lives. They have been doing a great job. They have been showing Nigeria that I think we can have a different society. I mean that they minimize the number of corruption. I worked for them some time ago when they were trying to get the people of Makoko in Yaba to have a good life. I covered the event there. So I just want to thank Sarah for what they have been consistently doing in Nigeria. But this time around, on this very one, come and account for Abacha's money. Who will account? The former president. You see, I think that can happen when we have a full-fledged democratic government that the judiciary can function optimally, and the legislature can function optimally, and the constitution will be top-notch. That there will be a provision in the constitution that if the executive refuses to obey the law, constitution says this will happen. And then, that's where we can have this question that the senator is asking answered. But the current situation in Nigeria, I just can't set up their work. But let's continue. Finally, on the list of the ministers. First, our medicine that you said we may have 3 people from opposition party. Please, among those 3, don't count we can start in opposition party. Enjoy bodily in the spirituality and spirituality in SCC. So the spirit is stronger than the body.
Right.
And then finally, I think we are about to wake up today from the grave. In fact, I think Kurubu might give him the Minister for Finance. Because with Bagudu, with Ganduje, with all that is following them, Ganduje is supposed to be paid by the Kano State government for the dollars tracking to his cloth. And then the Bagudu that pay was part of the Abacha's route, and they are offering the prime ministers in this government. Are we going to have
these are still speculations, Mr. Peter. We don't have a list.
We want the video of Ganduje.
He's not a minister yet. He's not a minister yet.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Peter.
And he has not
We want the video. We already watched the video too. Thank you.
It's all right.
And he has not been indicted yet.
Thank you very much. We appreciate. The names have been sent to certain agencies.
DSS.
Let's hope. Let's hope. Just as Fuad too is cautiously optimistic.
I'm just.
Fuad said, why are they sending the names to them? Because at the end of the day, we'll still hear what we want to hear. All right, we have a message here on Facebook. It's from Salaudin. Read one. Femi says, good morning, Fuad. On this issue of ministerial list, what Nigerians expect is a good government. As Wike and Fayose now, I don't think I will have the opposition to check this present government. Thank you very much, Salaudin.
I don't think we have an opposition for now.
At this time now. No. Chris Oloja says, I love you guys and what you're doing. Your analysis is devoid of bias and sentiment. Thank you very much, Chris. Let's move back to phone calls. We'll be back to messages in a bit. Hello, good morning.
Lady Sandra.
Good morning.
Mr. Fuad.
Good morning, Prince Wise.
Say, Sandra.
Prince Wise, you have 2 minutes.
I'm beating the beat now.
It's okay. I'm fine. Thank you very much. It's okay.
See, number one, I want to congratulate my president that being the chairman of ECOWAS.
Okay.
15 countries plus Nigeria making 16.
Yeah.
So it should devote 80% to Nigeria problem to the minute 2040. Yes, West Africa.
We need 100% here.
And the Sarah, I must commend them. Not necessarily means to put the president of the nation. If you approve Buhari today, it may not be corrupt. But what are the ministers? The money they were talking about now, just ask 2 organizations, the Minister for Finance and Central Bank Governor. The money that come from Abacha youth. Now, how did they distribute the money? How did they spend money? It's not a big deal. Mr. President today, can you tell them, Baba Basanjo, how money do you receive your period? The minister then, and the Central Bank then,
just throw the question to them as well as Jonathan, Minister for Finance, and the Central Bank Governor, as well the present one, the Mefele, and the Senate. So it's not a big deal. They can't just go direct to the Mr. President. He can order, okay, Sirika now. What if Sirika, Attorney General, former Attorney General, can they be proved? If you can put the Siani, former Minister, Elder Jonathan, the Inflation Minister, that Jonathan, and some other people in court now. What I'm talking about? So, that the right, Mr. President, to ask. The UFCC, he's not in the room, not welcome Mr. Tinubu. The UFCC, somebody is acting now. Let them do the job. Finally, for the ministerial prayer, the ministerial, when you are talking technical, if Vice said it, you can't have a degree. You are working somewhere before they appoint you because you come a politician. What I just want Mr. President to do, I don't want Minister for State number one. I don't want one man to work through ministry number two and put a competent staff to work for you. You are the driver. Put on that there your minister in the board. Anyone that is able to perform, drop me on the way. That's my son this morning, my dear. God bless you.
Amen. Thank you very much, Prince Wise. Appreciate. Hello, good morning. Okay, 0913 6000 410. That is the number to call. Hello. Good morning.
Hello. Good morning.
Good morning, Damlola.
Good morning. Yeah. Sarah are doing a very good job, but there's one thing for Sarah to work, for the court to speak, is another thing for the government to obey. So at the end of the day, it might just be nothing will happen. That's the truth. So, but Sarah has actually done their own civic duty. The government obey them. Because the question is, can corruption prove corruption? You understand? So, to me, I think we are focusing on the minor at the expense of the major. And then number two, I would want to speak on fire stuff and things like that. It shows one thing: opposition is dead in Nigeria. And I remember prior to the election, I said something about that Tinubu's politics. He has a way of killing the opposition. No, it doesn't kill them. It gives them offer they cannot resist and make them to function. So here by bringing about a one-party system, which will favor the political elite, but the masses will be the ones to suffer for it. You get it's happening in Lagos. We are doing roadworthiness, but our roads are not roadworthy, and we can't say anything about it, and we are paying taxes, and nothing is being done. You get so I think the Labour Party actually did something during the last election. Well, I feel they also need to speak more. Why the court is going on, it doesn't mean they should be quiet. That's my opinion. They just forget PDP. PDP is already acting like a dead opposition. Don't doubt about that. Because if PDP were to be allowed, people like VK Fire should have been suspended. Nobody, that's what the government doesn't obey the court. So nobody should obey the court when it comes to political matters. So I think the last step now is the Labour Party. Why the court is going on, I expect them to speak and talk. They are focusing on the court that it's end of field. Nobody can say this is just going to swing.
All right.
Thank you for another question.
Yes, thank you very much, Damlola. Appreciate. Okay, 0913 6000 410. That's the number to call. For text messages and WhatsApp messages is 0913 6000 430. And you can drop your messages on our Facebook live chat as well. We take comments from there. Let's see what we have on WhatsApp. I have some WhatsApp messages here. We'll be back to calls in a bit. Good morning. Excuse me. I'm Sam from Magodo. Why is Serap coming out now with this investigation? Have they been sleeping? To each administration to account for their spending of the loot before they left office. I'm not anxious about the list because there may be a lot of compensation of loyalists on that list, which may not be good. It will be about their selfish interest. I still don't believe we have strong opposition parties in Nigeria. If the likes of Fayose, Wike, etc. can work against their party, there is a problem and they should stop parading themselves as opposition. Alright, I also have Awolo Christopher from Shogule. Sarah's position is in order. However, not much will come out of it because of the same thing, corruption. All of them are involved. Politics is about who gets what, when, and how. So, appointment of ministers would conform to President Tinubu's politics of power consolidation and patronage in line with Pareto's circulation of elite. May God help us for them to perform. Have a nice weekday. Thank you. Asking the present government to probe how the recovered Abacha loot was spent is like asking the people in power to probe themselves, because a lot of them in power now were in the previous government and are the ones who did the actual spending. Think back a little and ask yourself, how did all those who were buying APC presidential nomination form with 100 million naira got such money? It's simply from questionable contracts and corrupt deals, mostly of monies from sources like this, including feeding imaginary school children during COVID-19. All these enable them to facilitate the elections magic here and there. And you want the president to expose himself and his people? They are all involved. And that is Steve from Ijaniki. Let's take some phone calls. We'll be back to messages in a bit. 0913 6410. This is Mainland 98.3 FM. Hello, good morning.
Prophet, let's say Prophet Sandra.
No, it's Fuad that is professor, has been prophesying since yesterday. It's not me.
And you are part of it now. You've already turned the spirit now.
I've been predicting.
Predictor.
I don't do anything
Prophet and
spiritual.
prophetess.
I don't do anything spiritual.
Our prophet and prophetess.
It's okay.
Just in 1 minute. Morning, my victory. Just in 1 minute.
Okay.
This is not what we need now. Who is fooling who? By this time, our economy is not good. People are crying for food. They are telling them to go and it's not now. In Lagos here, did they tell us how they are spending? Thank you, man.
Okay.
There's not divert our mind. Let's not divert our mind.
All right. Thank you very much, Engineer Femi. I appreciate it. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, Madam Sandra.
Good morning, Pastor Peter.
My dear friend, Swat. Yes.
Good morning, sir.
God bless all of you.
Amen.
Yeah. You see, today is like our Independence Day, because the news that the government has been mandated to probe Abacha loot. I think every Nigerian, both home and abroad, should congratulate the court for giving that order, because every problem that is facing us is on the issue of corruption and accountability. Once there is accountability and corruption, all the Nigerians who are abroad, they will come back, because it is corruption that has driven them out of the country and made the economy hopeless. So I'm very happy for this ruling. And let me say that if Asiwaju Bola Tinubu, our good friend, if he wants to show Nigerians that he is the people's president, he must obey the court order. I don't want to sound the dictatorial, but I don't think he has a choice. He must obey the court order to probe the use of the Abacha loot, because the way that money was spent by especially this past Buhari government is very questionable. I remember the Kogi governor Yahaya came back, did not pay salary for 36 months, and somebody came from Kogi, a woman, frustrated woman, jumped into the lagoon and died. So all these things are corruption. And on the issue of
thank you, Pastor
very
Peter.
sorry, on the issue of the what they call it,
Ministerial
the appointment. It's also.
Hello, good morning.
Morning to you, Sandra, and Fuad. Engineer Nee here from Yaba.
All right, good morning, Engineer Nee.
Yeah, thank you very much. Concerning the ministerial list
Okay.
and all the, let me first of all talk about the Serap court
Call
uh,
for probing. Okay.
for probing. They are on the right path.
All right.
And if you look at, both 8 years in Lagos, this pronouncement is always rule of law, rule of law, rule of law. If this one is not obeyed, that is count number 1 in his own government, that it does not obey law, like Buhari, who could not even obey the ECOWAS law court judgment. Let us put that one down. We must obey it and let there be clarity on it. Let there be let everybody see that he's doing the right thing, that the rule of law that is normally pronounced. Ministerial list, nobody should say that PDP did not sanction these people. They chose who to work for, and everybody knew about it. They are only doing whatever Fire said, the rest of the week, and the rest of them are doing. They are on doing themselves for their future politics. Maybe they are going to. Immediately they got that position after the tenure, they will just retire from politics. Otherwise, their future in politics is blink. Let me tell anybody that cares to know what I'm saying. Labour is not a party to reckon with for now, because you who go are borrowing, go are sorrowing. You are a presidential candidate, and all the candidates borrow a platform to work on. So they are not the owner of the party. The party is not the thing. Or they can't sustain what they begin their part. Let nobody deceive himself about that. ECOWAS is our turn, Nigeria turn to help ECOWAS. And the president of Tinubu told the world that we are the largest economy in Africa, and that tempo should be maintained by Tinubu, as has been given that position that belongs to Nigeria, not only because they are country president. It's Nigeria's turn to head the ECOWAS. God bless Nigeria. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Nigeria has always been the one heading the ECOWAS, but thank you, Engineer Nee, I appreciate it. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Fuad and Omobola.
Good morning.
We thank God it's a Monday, a beautiful Monday, to the glory of God. My name is Ambrose. See, all these things that we are just saying, drama. Things are so expensive now. I don't want to mention the specification where I buy that drug. That's a drug I used to buy for 2.5. It's now going for between 15 to 17,000. And there are 3 of them like that. Then you talk of tomato as we speak now. In fact, it's 2 things tomato we are using now. Then we buy maybe dry pepper, and then we grind together. But all this grammar we are saying, things will get okay, Me, I don't understand when things are going to get okay. Because
Pastor Ambrose, did you get the focus for this morning?
I get the focus and I'm landing there.
Okay.
I'm going to land there. We are talking of the issue of the note.
Okay.
That they asked the court that this government should probe, and we are also talking of the ministerial leave.
All right.
And I'm trying to say that the loot itself, if that loot is available now, things will get better. That's why I'm talking of all those things that I'm talking of.
Okay.
Because things are so expensive. And if I have 100,000 naira now, or I have myself and my family, we are 7. I spend it that same day. The ministerial list we are talking about, what we need is people who are sincere. I've been saying it. If you have a leader, a president that is sincere, and he fires any minister, and make sure they are being probed. If you like put a devil there, he will perform. Because he knows the consequences of non-performance. And he knows that if he embezzle money, he will vomit it. But you see, when you begin to treat all these people with kids, so me, I don't care who is made the minister. If Mr. President Tinubu is the president, let him make sure he appoint people that will be accountable, that will be transparent, and let him himself be transparent. I've been saying it, this economy is okay if we have sincere people. I know how much it costs me now to buy fuel. So I know what I'm talking about, Sandra. Things are so tough for children. If you pay one child school fee, another one will stay at home for some time. This is the situation now. With so much money available, and these politicians they cannot even adjust their belts. This government, they should be sincere, please.
All right, thank
you. From
the
federal to state to local government. God bless you.
Amen. Thank you very much, Pastor Ambrose. This is Mainland 98.3 FM. Time check right now says 9:22 a.m. and you are on to Mainland Focus. And the focus for this morning, we're looking first at the call the Federal High Court has ordered that the administrations of ex-presidents Obasanjo, Yar'Adua, Jonathan, and Buhari be made to account for repatriated funds. All right, and then Serap, supported that call by saying by urging the President Bola Tinubu-led administration to obey that particular court order. So what are your thoughts? How realistic do you think this probe is? Do you think we should look into it? And what do you think of the call of Serap? The second is as regards the ministerial list. There's this name that's going around now, Cabinet of Political Unity, due to the fact that there may be some, opposition figures, being represented in the ministerial list. So this Cabinet of Political Unity, what are your thoughts? What do you think that would mean as regards having a vibrant opposition and, as regards also political pressure that's being mounted on the president as regards the ministerial list? Are you anxious? Are you worried? Are you concerned? Are you curious? Are you just let's just get it over with?
Or indifferent?
Exactly. Let's just do what we have to do and move on. Those are the focal points for this morning. I have some messages here on Facebook. I'll take them. I'll be back to calls in a bit. I have here James Ogona from Oshodi. Thank you very much. Says Sandra and Fuad, I greet you apparently. Mr. Fuad, I can tell you that out of the 42-man ministerial list, 30 will be purely politicians who will claim to be technocrats, like Governor Wike, who is a lawyer, but whom I'm sure cannot remember when last he practiced as a lawyer, or Dr. Ngige, who I'm not sure has held a syringe, before or in the last 20 years. 8 of them would be what I call techno-politicians or politicrats, while the remaining 4 will be purely technocrats. Believe me, it's not going to be different from the usual. If as a technocrat you've not practiced in your field in the last 5 years but engage in politics, should we still call you a technocrat? When Fayose was speaking last night about Governor Wike, I see an indirect campaign. Wike would make the list to reward his loyalty as reward for his loyalty to Mr. President and betrayal to his party in the presidential election. I guess Tinubu is building a government of national unity made up of politicians across party lines who worked for him. Mr. Fuad, there will be no investigation. Serap has only secured the judgment, but that's where it would stop. Thank you very much. Okay.
Again, the beauty of opposition politics,
yes.
if really the PDP and the Labour Party were able to get their acts right, as the president is naming his ministers, you know what they're going to do? They name their own ministers too. Not because they're going to have any executive power, but to begin to probe the actions and activities of the ruling party. So, for example, the president names a minister for finance. The opposition also names what is called a shadow minister, who begins to monitor the activities of the Ministry of Finance and brings it to the table for people to know, scrutinize it, and even come up with counter policies to say, oh, instead of you doing it this way, you should have done it this way. That's the beauty of opposition. But again, I'm sorry, 8 years we may not see that.
That's interesting. Unfortunate. Chris Ewalen says, good morning, Sandra and Fuad. I absolutely agree with Serap. The investigation should be done by the current administration. Let them tell us how much the past government recovered from Abacha and how the money was spent. Serap should also zero in Tinubu himself. Let's investigate how much he has collected from Lagos State since he left office as governor till he went to Aso Rock. It's okay, Chris. Thank you very much. Kehinde Akinde says, good morning in the studio. I don't have any problem with the minister's list so long as square peg is not put in round hole. The government should not allow any of them to receive double pension. And thank you very much, Kehinde. I appreciate. All right, let's take one more call, and that is it for this morning. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Hello?
We can hear you.
Is it the pastor that I'm calling, ma?
No. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Sandra.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Fuad.
Good morning.
John from Oba.
Oh, good morning, sir.
Yes.
All right.
Yes. Who will bear the card? I dare the president that I should probe the past presidents, starting from Yaradua and Obasanjo and the rest.
Okay.
He wouldn't have the way. I can assure you, he who goes to Ikuzi will come with clean hand. Honestly. And the judiciary too, just like I antagonize this barrister's John's stand. The judiciary has been our problem too. Where politicians committed offense, humongous offense of looting, and you give them a part in the wrist, a part at the back, go and see no more. And you are not be dealing with them. What do you expect? Who will bear the car, just like I said over there? Honestly, this system is not working. Good morning. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate. And that's all the calls that we can take this morning. Unfortunately, we'll wrap things up with some WhatsApp messages. We have quite a lot of them. So let's quickly run through. I have here a very good morning to you. My name is Mr. Kenneth Ndubisi from Igondo. It is not possible for a president to obey the court order. Have we asked ourselves why whenever a new president takes over, you see the past presidents flocking around the new president? Maybe they go there to beg the president to cover their corruption activities. On the nomination of ministers, it's all about rewarding members and supporters. He may not be nepotistic as the past president, but surely his appointment will be political. Thank you for the good work. All right. Sandra and Mr. Fuad, I think we've taken this already. Hi, Milan FM. I agree with Serap, but who will probe this past president and also who will answer to the judgment? Please, Mr. Oga Fuad, if a president leaves power, does he still have immunity?
No, not at all.
Because our president in Nigeria seems to have infinite immunity. In as much as Serap has won some court cases after winning, they never get respect. The government never respects the verdict. I don't see them winning this one. For the ministers, my take is that they choose ministers not by certificate, but by good and past deeds. Finally, President Tinubu needs to be careful of the post by ECOWAS, as they might want to coerce him on the fuel subsidy he removed, as a lot of countries have been affected negatively, especially Niger. Sean from Festac, thank you very much. That's a very interesting look. Good morning, Sandra and Alhaji Fuhad. If they include Wike in that ministerial list, they should know that he's not representing PDP but himself. After all the wuru he did against PDP that last time. Secondly, if I see Gandola,
I guess he wanted to say Ganduje.
He knows what he's doing. He's Mr. Kangweli now.
Oh, okay.
If I see Ganduje on that list, like Fuad speculated, it means we are in bed with corruption, like the recent past, or like the past.
They will argue that he has never been indicted.
Okangwelina from Mafuluku, thank you very much. That's all we can take for this morning. All right. Well, as we all anticipate, I'm sure by this week or by Monday. We should have something
to work with.
Maybe not the entire list, but at least.
I also think that the list will come in batches.
Yes,
that's what
exactly.
I think. It may come
just
in
as
batches,
like the special advisors who came, in batches.
Yeah.
All right, thank you very much, Fuad. We'll take a short break. We'll be back by 9:45. Let's see what's happening on the international scene by 9:45 on Global View. In the meantime, stay tuned. This is Mainland 98.3 FM. So many programs, all designed for your listening pleasure, still coming up. So, my name still remains Omobola Sandra. This is Sahid Fuhad. So I've seen a lot of
spellings. Okay, it's fine.
So stay with us. We'll be right back.